Stick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.
All right, join me right now from New York. Are you in New York or New Jersey? You said you just moved. Where you
No,
moved to?
I'm in New York. I'm still in New York.
All right, New York. Randy Brown, UFC welterweight. I don't even have to say that. People should know who you are. What's going on?
Same old, bro. Same old, chilling, man. Getting ready to do some damage. How you doing?
Good, man. Of course, before we got on air, we were talking about your new spot. It's different. The man cave is, what does it mean to have a man cave? Because most guys, they don't have that thing, especially married guys.
Nah, you know what it is? Well, I'm not married, but it's just a space. It's my own space. I'm able to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? I've recently gotten into like building PCs and, doing streaming live on Twitch, and I got a little podcast going on, me and my brother-in-law. So, just chilling. It feels good. It feels good. Being able to work on other projects and give me something outside of mixed martial arts, kind of like a little getaway. So I love it.
Yeah, I guess, with the sport that you're involved in, it's hard to think about it 24 hours a day because it's violent, man. There's a lot of violence involved, right? You can't have it subliminally. It kind of could mess with you a little bit, right?
Absolutely. Psychologically, it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah, because the highs are the highest of the highs and the lows are the lowest of the lows. And
absolutely.
Sometimes you got to find that balance. But you said you got the Twitch going. You've been doing that for a while. You building up your subscriber base, podcasting. So you're filling in the days, man. No problem.
For sure. Just one day at a time, brother. That's it. Yeah. One day at a time.
Yeah, definitely. Now, one thing I noticed about your Instagram, did you erase everything? Or did you get hacked? What happened?
No, everybody keeps asking me that. Once I did that, everybody was messaging me and asking me, I hope I'm well and all this kind of stuff. Perfectly fine, bro. I just literally just was bored one day. My girl's like a social media person. She works with like different companies on their socials and stuff. And she always gives me shit about how ugly my aesthetic looks, which I don't care. But they're not deleted. They're just archived. I'll bring them back. I just was just bored one day, wanted to see what it would look like. So I just deleted everything. Not deleted, archived everything.
Yeah, whenever there's like a major...
Don't read too much into it.
yeah. Whenever there's a major change in someone's social media, like people think the worst first.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, bro, everybody's reaching out. So, are you okay? They're like, bro, it's just Instagram. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to just have, that platform to just see what the athletes are doing, because without it, we would have no clue.
For sure, man. You know what's crazy though? I really don't like social media too much though. In a sense, it makes fans feel like they have too much access to you. Where even when they don't know you, it makes them feel like they know you. When they don't know you, and when in reality they know whatever you want them to know because whatever you put on social media, you know what I mean? And they take that and run with it and kind of just sometimes they just stand on stand on certain opinions like this is what it is and this is who you are, man. You don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing I don't like about social media.
Yeah, and the other side is like you could just go on there as anybody.
Yeah.
And there's no accountability.
Yeah, exactly. Fake profiles, people saying whatever the hell they want to say to you. Shit is wild out here, man.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. Now, 2020, let's get into it. You had one fight, the Luque fight.
Yes,
Can you give us a little bit of behind the scenes with that fight? Give us your thoughts on how it played out.
And it was a great fight, man. It was a great fight. Luque came with a phenomenal game plan, the exact game plan that I thought he would come with. So it wasn't nothing that I wasn't prepared for. He just did the damn thing that night. Obviously, again, there's things in the background for me. Again, preparation was tough. Being, from New York in the height of the pandemic, everyone left. Training was in shambles. Training in my backyard for my first top 15 fight, with an opportunity to break in the top 15. I felt like I trained well and I still prepared properly, and we were able to do it. But a lot of things went wrong, But I don't want to discredit Luque at all. Luque, like I said, he did the damn thing. Did everything I thought he would do, and effectively. I think it was more so just a matter of me just not being myself, man. That night, weight cut was a disaster. weight cut was an absolute disaster. If you look at the fight, you look at me, I don't even look like myself. The first fight, the first round, I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? I'm looking up at the clock with like 2 minutes in the fight. I'm looking at the clock, and shit was just terrible. All around, one of the worst nights of my life, all the way around. But you know what? I'm glad and I'm grateful to have another opportunity to come back and right my wrongs, you know? So just grateful to the UFC for giving me the opportunities that they do continue to give me big opportunities and big fights. So, you know, I guess just grateful to be able to be back and do it right this time.
One thing that's clear is that the UFC does really like you and the style of fight that you bring, because I looked at your last 5 fights. They're all guns, man. They're guys that are in the division, just like yourself, that are there to just gun people down. And it seems like every matchup, even this one coming up with Cowboy Oliveira.
Absolutely. I'm not here for the little gimme fights or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I'm here to throw down. I'm here to get it done. I'm here to go to war. You know, obviously I've had some ups, I've had some downs, but that's the game. That's the game, right? You look at all the top guys, you know, I take inspiration from all those guys who've been around, the veterans who've been around a long time. You see guys, they get beat, but they come back, and they come back better than they were before. And at this point in my career, it looks like that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? So I've gotten knocked down before, and I'm back, and I'm ready to prove people wrong, and I'm still learning. Again, I always say that I'm still learning. I took away a lot from my last fight. May not have been a lot technically in the fight. There were some technical things, but more so just even the process. I've never had a weight cut issue. I've always been good. You know, I've never missed weight. Even so, I've never had a bad weight cut up until that moment, you know, which was like, you know, a new experience for me. So now I have to be careful with certain things that I do moving forward, you know, and make sure things like that will never happen again.
With everything that's been going on, do you feel like you're still trying to find your footing in the UFC, your position in the division? Because a lot of guys, they come in, they win a couple, they lose a couple, and then it seems like they just decline. But for yourself, you've been fighting top competition for like I just said, the last 5 or 6 fights. You know, it's win and loss there. So do you feel like, okay, I still haven't even hit the peak that I want to hit yet?
For sure, man. For sure. And that's why you see I have like this nonchalant attitude with me all the time. You know, I'm not really worried about anything. Of course, there's ups again, there's downs, there's disappointments, you know, there's breakthroughs. But I'm not really worried because I know where I'm headed, man. And I told you that before. I know exactly where I'm headed. You know, it's just little tweaking errors here and there. And, you know, I'm human. I'm allowed to fuck up. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm a headache to my coaches because I don't listen all the time. But I know where I'm at. I know where I stand amongst my peers. You know, even this camp, I made some changes. I traveled and I trained with some other fighters, you know, outside of New York, and you know, just some more of the guys that are around here as well. And it just proved to me again, you know, that I belong and I know where I'm headed. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where I just need to continuously make the small adjustments and make sure things that happen don't happen again. You know, that's where I'm at with it.
So you mentioned going outside of New York. Where did you go? Who did you work with?
I went out to California and I trained over at King's MMA for a couple weeks. Shout out to my guy, Naaman Gracie. You know, he was here, but due to the pandemic, he had to also move. They went to Cali and did some training out there. And, you know, I just went out there to help him out. And also he's a great training partner, a great friend of mine. So he helped me out as well. Shout out to Cordero, Rafael Cordero, their coach over there. He's a phenomenal coach, you know, took a liking to me and helped me out, gave me some gems. Their whole squad, man, their whole team. Shout out to Kings MMA and all of them over there. Thank you for all the help. Them dudes helped me out a lot, you know, gave me some good work, some good push.
Yeah, you've had a lot of time, you know, I think around 6-7 months between fights. So you went to California. Did you do anything else? Like, did you have some healing time? You know, sometimes guys need to have that between fights. How do you heal yourself, like mentally and physically?
Well, physically, I'm one of those people who recently in my camp, like 2 camps ago, I think it was right before the Barberina fight. I really got into attacking my recovery. I was always one of those people who's like, oh, well, I don't have to train today, so I'm just gonna sit around, maybe play video games, but that you don't really recover that way. You do, but you don't. You need to attack your recovery. As a professional, I realized that the same way you train throughout your day is the same way that you should attack your training, attack your healing. You know, like for instance, don't just sit around. Maybe some active recovery, maybe some foam rolling out your injuries or your soreness. You know, hot tub, sports massages, those kind of things. You know, make sure you're taking your vitamins every day and all that stuff. You know, whole bunch of stuff, man. You can even get on the bike and set the resistance up really high and just recycle blood out of your legs and out of certain areas in your body. So I just really been focusing on recovery physically, that kind of way. Mentally, my recovery is, you know, getting away from fighting sometimes, even though on my podcast, all we do is talk about fighting, right? But getting away from fighting in the sense of playing video games, even though when I go live on Twitch, all my people who come in the Twitch fam want to come and talk about fights, but I don't care. You know, I chat with them anyway. But just getting away from that, getting away from the focus and the daily hustle and bustle of the grind. You know what I mean? Some days I just need to get away from that, especially when I'm not in camp. So, but again, I'm a student of the game, so it doesn't really wear on me, I think, to talk about fighting. So for some, it's weird. Sometimes I want to get away from it, but then somehow I can't get away from it for too long.
yeah, definitely. Well, you got Cowboy Oliveira coming up, you know, another fan-friendly fight, another fight of the night contender. You know, there's no easy competition for you. Thoughts on Oliveira and the style he brings?
Ton of respect for Oliveira. Oliveira is a phenomenal athlete. The dude is wild and unpredictable, funny guy, friendly guy. The thing is just that he's wild and unpredictable, but dangerous opponent, and definitely not looking past him. I believe he's a little sloppy, and I'm maybe able to take advantage of those areas. But I do think that he poses a legit threat, man. You know, his grappling, the way he pushes you against the cage and wrestles on the cage, he's strong in round one. Just a wild card, man. You have to be ready for everything with a guy like this. So that's exactly what I did, is just try to prepare myself in every way, you know, possible. And the main thing for me is trying to dictate where the fight takes place, you know. So that's pretty much it.
When you have a wild card, you know, like him, where it seems like when he steps into the cage, there is no game plan for him. There is no path to victory. His path to victory is whatever path comes along the way, right? So when you prepare for a guy like that, is it different for you in any way compared to a guy that's more technical?
A little bit for sure. I much prefer the guy that I know what he's gonna do. Like when I fought Luque, even though, you know, it didn't go my way, I knew exactly what he was gonna do. And in the fight, he did everything that I knew he was gonna do, you know, and I was prepared for those things. You know, obviously there's other forces that I wasn't prepared for. But a guy like this now, with him, it's my main thing is I have to focus on me. I have to focus on being clean. I have to focus on taking advantage of his mistakes. And he makes a shit ton of mistakes. It's just me having to be able to capitalize on those mistakes. A lot of people are not able to capitalize on the mistakes that he makes because they don't know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? So he can make the mistake and he may foil and do something else outside of that mistake that may catch you. You know what I mean? He kind of reminds me of Nico Price in a way, you know, but even more so unpredictable. You know, he's just wild. Spinning back kicks, spinning hook kicks, that uppercut he throws, a wild right hand, is grappling against the cage. He's going to try to push you against the cage. So for me, preparing myself for a guy like this is mostly focused on me. Being able, you know, being an opportunistic animal, you know, being able to just capitalize on all the mistakes that he'll make and try to just force him into positions where for him to make the mistakes, you know?
When you got a guy like that with those types of kicks, could we see this turn into like a karate fight where you're just throwing kicks and he's that would be extremely entertaining.
Oh man, shoot. I don't know. Do you guys see me? I don't really throw too much karate kicks. I don't know.
But we can do something new from the arsenal. I don't know.
I don't know too much karate. You know, I know karate. That's what I know. Nah. Who knows? Who knows, man? It's a fun fight. It's a fan friendly fight. I'm excited. I'm excited to just get in there and just put on a show, man, and just be able to, you know, go out there and show my stuff again, man. Show what I'm about. You know, again. Last fight, unfortunately, I wasn't able to. This time, I want to go out there and just shock the world again and show them like, yo, I'm the real deal. Once again, if you forgot, then, you know, I almost forgot.
You've had those moments already, man. And you know, what does it feel like to be a guy with that name? You know, I always wondered this. I've never asked anybody this. It's like when fight fans look at a card and it's like, oh, Randy Brown versus Cowboy Oliveira. Like, your name has become one of those names. Like, this guy has entertaining fights. You've become that. You know what I mean? Like, how does that feel for you, for fans? You know, getting that love.
Well, that's good to know. I wouldn't know that. I don't really put too much merit into that because I don't know that. You're the first person to tell me that, so that's cool. Now that I know that, that's pretty cool. That's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to put on exciting fights. And like you said, bro, like I told you a while ago, me and you had an interview, and I always tell you, I'm here to get paid, bro. At the end of the day, I'm here to get this bread. So, if that's what I got to do to get the bread, put on exciting fights, then we're gonna put on exciting fights. That's what I do. Again, sometimes I don't want it to be that back and forth rock'em sock'em robot. My style doesn't really allow for that usually. As long as I'm in shape and I'm able to do me, I don't think we're gonna see that. I think you'll most likely see, you know, me putting on something more skillful than just the rock'em sock'em. You know what I mean? But I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that fans see value in my performances and what I bring to the table. I'm happy for that. That's a good thing.
This fight, is there any personal challenges you want to overcome?
You know me, man. I got the chip on my shoulder. You know what I mean? I just like to prove people wrong. You know, I just like to prove people wrong, and that's the main thing, is just going in there and showing people, you know, that I'm here and I'm a force to be reckoned with, and I got a long way to go. You know what I mean? This is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, I will be, you know, by the end of this year, you know, I set myself some goals. I will be in the top 15 possibly at the end of this year again. But you know, that's pretty much it, man. Those are the challenges, I guess. Getting past this guy and getting past, you know, future opponents.
Then what do you expect in this performance?
In this performance, I expect just me being the best version of me coming out, being sharp, beating him to the punch, beating him to the mark, and just putting on an exciting bout. It's gonna be exciting because I know his style is he's wild. As much as I want it to be, you know, a technical masterpiece of like my performances that I like a fight against Barberina, I felt like that was a technical masterpiece for me. You know, that's the standard of where I keep myself to have my performances. You know what I mean? But you're not always going to be able to perform that way because of, you know, obviously credit to the opponents, the caliber of your opponents, and outside circumstances and camp and everything, you know. But with a guy like this, I think it may be hard to have those kind of fights. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A guy like this is going to make it ugly, make it nasty. And best case scenario is I can make it as beautiful and as spectacular as I want it to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But worst case scenario, it's a grind. It's a grind. He's trying to push me against the cage. I'm turning him, pushing him against the cage, back and forth transitions, you know. Rock'em sock'em, man. Rock'em sock'em, right? That's what the fans want. But it's gonna be war. It's gonna be war. Either way, it's gonna be war. It may be a technical war, or it's gonna be a grinding war. But I know with a guy like this, it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now, one last thing before I let you go. You know, you got like these rules and regulations inside the cage, and I see some violations. You know what I mean, that happen all the time in the cage, which is like offense grabs, you know, the groin shots. Sometimes not. Sometimes, you know what I mean, it could be in a offense. You got the eye pokes. You know, you got guys grabbing gloves. What do you think should be something that happens once and a point should be deducted? Because I always hear that the referees go back and tell the fighters like, hey, this is what I expect. Please avoid poking people in the eye, because it seems like getting poked in the eye has become like an epidemic in some ways.
For sure. Well, first and foremost, I don't think any fighter goes out and say, hey, I'm gonna poke my opponent in the eye. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody's doing that, right? And you gotta have some damn good accuracy to just be like, bow, you know, get somebody in the eye. But I think the guys who are taller, the guys who are looking to maintain distance, a lot of times those are the guys who are poking people in the eye. And sometimes it's just weird in transition, man. Sometimes you're in transition and you don't know where you are for a split second, and you extend your hand and you may poke someone in the eye. You know what I mean? So I think it is an issue. I think maybe we need to design some kind of glove that can prevent the fighters from extending all the way out, or like you said, the point system, make it more strict, I guess. But is that going to stop people from getting poked in the eye? I don't think so. I think you're just going to see more bullshit decisions where guys are going to be disappointed that they lost. I think it has to be an engineering thing where we have to just figure out what's what with the gloves, you know?
Do you like the point system?
The scoring system, or I do, because it's just what we've been working with. You know what I mean? It's just what we've been working with, but I don't like the way it's gotten better. It's hard. I can't be the guy to break it down and say whether it's going to be good or not, you know, whether I like it or not. I mean, personally, I like what it is because it's always been this way, but there's some things I didn't like, some things I don't like. I can tell you, fuck it. Here's what I don't like. Here's what I don't like, right? I don't like the significant strike counter, because I feel like we just forget what the fuck significant strikes mean. Do you know what significant means? You know what I mean? Like, do we forget what significant means? Because I remember in one fight where I got outstruck, and I was like, what? Like, I clearly, if I stand about, you know, a couple inches away from you, you know what I mean, and you're in my kill zone, and I hit you with a 3-piece combo, and then you clinch me, and within the clinch, you hit me, you go like this, you start hitting my face like this, you know, and then we break. I just got outstruck, huh? Those were significant strikes. That's weird to me. And then the judge that doesn't know what they're looking at, they look at that and they go, well, they look at the paper. They're not looking at the fight and see, well, this guy just did damage with bombs, whereas this guy just tallied up some numbers. You know what I mean? So that I don't really like that kind of shit. You know, so we take too much, we give too much merit to those numbers. You know, I don't like that. I think judges should know what the fuck they're looking at and look at the fight and see exactly what's happening. Whereas most people just, you know, look at the stats, the statistics. The papers say, look, he hit him, you know, he hit him this much times, whereas this guy hit him that much times. No. The person that's clicking the buttons, he could be wrong. You know, it's like he's just clicking little bullshit shots and counting them.
Who's clicking the buttons? Like, we got to find out.
Who's on the clicker? What do you call them? They count them, right? Is that what it is? A clicker?
Yeah, the clicker, the counter clicker. Like, they use them at the carnivals and everything, right? When people come in.
Yeah.
So I wonder who's counting the clicker, because like you said, I understand what you're talking about. There has been some fights where a guy lands the most damaging shots, but the other guy just outlands him more. So what is more valuable in a fight? Of course, damage.
It's fine. Like, still count those shots. You can count them all you want, but please don't put them under significant. I feel like we forget what significant means.
Yeah,
those shots are insignificant shots, man. Come on.
They should have an insignificant shot counter.
They should.
Just to mess with everybody. But anyways. I think we're gonna push for that online. I'm gonna hashtag insignificant strikes.
Yeah, insignificant strikes. That would be good.
The ones that you were talking about, right? When he gets you to the clinch and he kind of like paws at you. Those are insignificant
he's like
strikes.
The side of your head, and it's annoying. So you like turn your head, and it's like, bro, those are significant strikes. Those are going under significant strikes. What the hell? That's doing 0 damage. That's just annoying me. Yeah. That's all that's doing is annoying me.
Well, man, hey, you got a big fight coming up, man. An explosive matchup, February 27th in Las Vegas. Always good catching up with you, Randy, man. It's a pleasure, man, to speak with you and kind of follow you on your journey. It's always great to see the development and the maturity and everything moving along. So excited for you to step back into that cage.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you as well.
Take a move in the ring. You can hit me with a word you fling.